Hi, everybody. Welcome back to What You Don't See, the podcast. Again, we are in a new set. Same building at new. As you can see, it's very versatile here. I want Sarah to touch on how much she loves this place.
Oh my God, look at the comforter. You can actually come and buy a comforter. And they said something with Eastern something it's called.
Eastern.
And you can find all these different really cool designs and stuff. And you can come buy your comforter here. I did not know that.
I didn't know that. I didn't even know you could buy like bedding here. Like I thought it was just furniture.
I had no idea. And they have these
doors.
pieces that they, yes.
The
doors,
okay.
yeah.
It's like Eastern inspired. Now I see. There's like Eastern inspired.
That one is
Asian.
actually imported from India.
Oh.
Yeah, so they actually do bring imports from Asia.
And look at
That's
this
super, super
lamp.
nice.
I know.
Isn't this gorgeous?
Wow.
It's so. I just want to take it all home.
So yeah,
I'm gonna
we're
come live
I
over
want to
here.
take this one home.
I want to come live here.
We should come office out of here
I know.
every once in a
right?
while.
We're very lucky to be here shooting our podcast. Today's episode is a little bit serious, but important. It's something that we need to discuss, especially in Latino culture, and that is therapy, the stigma that comes with taking care of your mental health, trauma therapy, and just taking care of your like mental well-being in general. So I plan on sharing some of my story. I know Magda wants to share some of her story. Sarah mentioned that she's never done therapy. Do you mind telling us why?
I just never did.
Was it because you felt ashamed or you just never needed to? Because I know you've been through shit.
Oh, I've been through some really. Yeah.
You've been through shit. We know you've been through shit.
I don't know. I think my parents have always been my therapy.
Good. Okay, so you have that close support system where you
Yes.
felt like you never needed it.
Yeah, I have a very, like, my family's very, like, my parents are everything.
Aww, I love
Yeah.
that.
I think if anything ever happened to my parents, I would probably need therapy.
Aw.
I would
Well,
have them
yes.
to talk to.
Magda and I have some great suggestions for
Yes,
therapists.
yes, we do.
I want to share the shirt that I'm wearing today because I want to also break the stigma. It says chemically imbalanced. I got this shirt at JZD in Brownsville, and I take Lexapro. Lexapro is an antidepressant, and it also is for anxiety. And so I'm very open about it. I talk about it on my social media. I want people to know
didn't
that.
know that.
Yeah, I want people to know that it's okay to be on medication. It's okay to like take care of yourself. Obviously, the best case scenario is to not be on medication, but I've accepted that I take Lexapro for my anxiety and depression, and I'm okay sharing that with you all, and I want y'all to feel comfortable doing that as well.
I didn't realize that's what it meant. I read your shirt and I was like, what is that supposed to mean? Chemically
Imbalanced. Yeah,
All
like
a little bit chemically imbalanced.
yeah. I mean, I guess we all kind of are a little
mean,
bit.
I think we all
I think
are.
we all
Yeah,
are.
I think we all
I
are.
think at the end of the day, everybody has something, like some people love food, right? And that may be their comfort, right? And some people like to drink and that might be their comfort. Some people need medication and that is what, it's whatever is your comfort. Some people
Yeah.
need travel. And that's
Yeah.
like, it can be like a drug, right? Like you can over travel too much. And
Yeah.
I mean, it is life.
I want that drug. Over travel.
Over travel.
Yeah, I want to do that.
I need travel.
Yeah, you do.
I need travel.
Yeah, you do. You do travel a
And I
lot.
travel a lot, but
Yeah.
I need travel. Like it makes me happy. I
Yeah.
get my cup filled and then I come back and I'm like, okay, I can do whatever I
That's
need to
your
do.
therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
same. I've never ever done therapy before. I tried doing it online with someone from Monterrey, and the online thing wasn't working out for me. I'm more of
No.
like a personal. And after that, I just stopped. I think to me was basically my parents. I mean, if you would tell my dad, like, hey, I think Ingrid, my mom tells my dad, right? Like, I think Ingrid needs to go to therapy. ¿Qué terapia ni qué? Nada. Like, what do you mean you need, like, my mom would be like, mira, esta es tu terapia. And she would just, like, spank us, you
Yeah.
know?
That
Like,
was
I
my
mean, that was my
therapy.
therapy, like the chancla. It's like, you better straighten up, you know? It is something that I do want to do. Maybe not right now. I don't feel like I need it, like you say, Sarah. To me, also, my therapy is like going out, traveling, like nature. And I am very lucky to also have my parents that I get to kind of like spill everything on them. And, you know, they're very supportive.
nature is so therapeutic.
Yeah.
Going
Nature's
to
very
the
good.
beach,
Oh,
going
man,
on a
just going
hike.
to the beach,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh my God, everything's so good in the world. Like nature can
And it's
heal
scientifically
you.
proven
Yes.
that it heals you.
Yes.
Just being around water.
Being around leaves.
Trees, just being like going on
Green
a hike,
color.
going on your bike rides, being at the beach, like being outside in
You
general.
like the beach.
yeah.
She's like being at the beach.
I keep saying
I
that.
love the
No,
beach.
but seriously,
Yeah.
it's
I love the
true.
beach.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
100%.
Hearing the waves, your toes in the sand, the sun, it's like, oh,
So healing.
everything is right in the world. Sometimes we just need to go outside.
Or come to you.
That's okay. And you'll feel good
This
too.
is really good therapy here.
Shopping can be therapy. No,
Shopping?
no,
No, but shopping is therapeutic.
It can be, but it's not a substitute for actual therapy. But yes,
Yes.
it is
Yes.
therapeutic.
I realized
Until you get it home.
about
and you have to
8
hide
years
it.
ago, I got a panic attack because I
really?
was overworked.
Okay.
That's when I decided to, and I ended up at the hospital. I didn't even know I had
Anything.
any
Yeah.
issues with panic attacks.
How did you feel?
Oh my God, I was making dinner and all of a sudden I started getting sweaty. My palms were like sweating. My eyes were red. And my son walks up to me. He's like, Mom, are you okay? And I said, I don't think so. I go into the water faucet and my mouth is so dry. I'm drinking water.
Oh my gosh.
But maybe a few minutes later, boom, I passed out. I woke up to my son putting ice on me and the ambulance took me in, right? After that,
How
I
old was your
realized,
son?
oh, this was about 8 years ago. So what, 12? So after that, I realized I needed to take it slow. I spoke
Yeah.
to my boss. I'm like, after this, I'm not coming in. I'm coming in at 10:30 in the morning. I'm doing slower mornings, right? I'm going to give you 110 when I get here, but I'm doing slower mornings.
Yeah.
And I bought my little tiny RV, and I put it at the island, and it has been an amazing
best.
investment.
Life changer.
Life changing.
I love that,
because
yeah.
I get to be outside, and I'm an outdoorsy. I
You
need
are.
to be out. If I'm not outside doing something, it's not me.
Fishing is therapeutic.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's my
I
therapy.
love to fish.
Me too.
And that's why I said
I
it,
just
'cause
feel bad
we
for
go
the
fishing.
fish.
Oh,
They're so delicious when you
Like
make
I
them
get
raw.
sad. Like even though I eat fish, I'm not vegan or vegetarian. Like pulling them in, I'm like, are they in pain?
aw,
Nah, they don't
thinking
really
like
feel
that.
it.
I love
They're,
fishing.
they're getting dragged by their mouth.
I'm like,
They don't even feel it.
anyway, but yes, being in nature, fishing, being on a boat. Oh,
Being on a
no
boat,
better
yeah.
feeling.
On a boat.
I want to buy a boat. I'm manifesting and it's out
Okay,
there.
but we're
and
going to
it's
talk
gonna
about
happen.
therapy.
Yeah.
But yes.
Sorry. Okay, so Magda, tell us about your experience with a therapist.
So first of all, my family, we don't talk about therapy.
Okay.
Right?
Great.
Nobody ever discussed therapy. It was never even it was in my mind. I always kind of wanted to do it, but I couldn't afford to do it because it is expensive.
It is.
Sometimes the insurance doesn't cover. My
It's a
therapist
privilege.
Most of the times, yeah. it
doesn't cover, right?
It's a privilege, and we forget.
It's a
like,
privilege.
it is a
It's a
privilege.
privilege.
100%.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
wish we could do something to help women that have been through stuff and get them some pro bono therapy. I don't know. We'll figure that out one day.
Can I just say something real quick before you
Yes.
finish? The another Hispanic Latino thing that we end up doing is we tell our kids, keep crying like you're crying, and I'm going to give you something to cry about.
Oh, yeah.
So what does it make you do? Like I would get spanked if I was crying for
Oh,
no
yeah,
reason.
same.
So you bottle it in.
Well, for
Yeah.
them and no reason. That maybe that's a reason why too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so continue.
But that's
yeah.
we used to get that a lot. So about when was it? Last year when I decided to make a lot of changes in my life in June, one of them was start taking care of my mental health. I need to go to therapy. I've been through some trauma. I dealt with the trauma. I've learned to get used to it, right? Where you block everything. So I went through a very abusive marriage, right? For 3 years, there was torture, there was abuse, physical, mental, everything. I never realized what an impact it made in my life. Before, I couldn't sit here and tell you what I went through. I would not talk about it, I'd rather not deal with it because I'm going to start crying. I've had friends of mine that have heard the stories and they come up to me. I was like, I can't talk about it because I'm going to cry.
we talked about it in California.
We did. We
Yeah.
did. And I probably cried. Well, I started in June with my therapy and I've been dealing with that part of my life. I could talk about it now. I don't feel it's kind of like
You're free.
I'm free. A lot of memories came back that I did not have before. And a lot of things make sense of why I act the way I am, why I am who I am, right?
Yeah.
So they started doing EMDR sessions, which I know you went through them, and I'm very grateful that you mentioned them. Leah could explain it better than I can.
EMDR?
So EMDR stands for eye movement rapid desensitization. Eye movement rapid desensitization. I'm saying that wrong, but basically it is a form of trauma therapy that stimulates the brain by movement of your eyes or bilateral movement in the hands. And so when you're thinking of these traumatic memories and you have the bilateral stimulation in your brain, like physically, it promotes healing.
Oh my gosh, I actually took, well, I haven't finished, but it's part of a healing course, like an online healing course, and I didn't even know that, I mean, it was the same thing,
Yeah.
but you can basically like rewire your brain just through eye movements.
Eye movements.
Like, it's like you're rebooting your
Yes,
brain,
exactly.
right? It's, yeah.
It's very scientific. It's hard
Yeah.
to describe. It's hard to comprehend. But something about the bilateral stimulation of your brain literally promotes healing of traumatic memories.
Yeah.
Wow.
And at first when they gave them to me, I mean, what is this gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
it
gosh.
feels silly.
I think I
Feels
really
silly.
want to post these like eye movements.
You
I'm going
should.
to do like a little, like a tutorial.
You
Good.
should,
Yeah.
because people need
Like
to
the
know.
Especially
People
because
need
it's
to
a
know about
privilege.
it.
Especially because it's a
Yeah.
privilege and you can't always
Exactly.
afford it, right?
Exactly.
it's expensive.
It's
It's
but
expensive.
It
100%
is.
worth it.
It is
100%
expensive.
It
worth
is. It's like what, 150 a session maybe
175 a session
for
and
1
I-
hour. That's
for an hour.
expensive
Yeah,
for
that
people
is
who don't
expensive.
even have $100 to spare for groceries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
it is.
So they do this for me, right? The first day, and I didn't think anything of it. I got it done at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I'm done with this. There was a lot of crying. I was stuck on stupid with how much emotion was coming out and what memories were coming, and it was only the first one. I go to work, busy day at work. I didn't have time to process. It wasn't until 7 o'clock at night, I'm in my bed, and I felt like I was that 19-year-old little girl sitting at the edge of the bed, and I get a panic attack. I start crying. Everything came out. It was so, I kind of wanted to call my therapist to see if this was normal.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be dramatic, right? So I dealt with it. I cried. I jumped in the shower, got into cold water. The next day, I was very emotional. I called my therapist, and he's like, yes, this is what happens. Eventually, it's going to get easier. So
Yep.
let's start moving your therapies till 4:30,
end of day.
end of day. Perfect, because like that, I get to work, I get home, I don't go back to the office after my therapy session. I go home and I deal with it, right?
Yes.
I started those in July because it took me about a month to get to know my therapist. And I've dealt with the abuse part of my life that now we're starting
A new chapter.
a new chapter, which is my father. The trauma that I got from him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm ready to tackle that because I want to love him and forgive him. So I think I need to do that before. But yeah.
It takes so much bravery, let me just say, because I also did EMDR after a very traumatic, tragic event
How
in
did
my
you hear about it?
Well, out of necessity. After I lost my partner, I actually started seeing his therapist, which was Heath.
Keith Smith.
And I didn't know that Heath did EMDR, and he's the one that was like, we need to do trauma therapy with you. And I was like, okay, well, I need to do whatever, right? Because I need to get past this. I need to heal from this. I'm not going to allow this to change my life in a negative way. And he was like, good, like that's very brave of you, because it's so hard to face those demons. It really is. Like, think about your deepest trauma and how much you want to bury it and never talk about it.
Right.
To confront it head on takes so much bravery, and that's why I'm so proud of you for doing it. I went through 8 months of trauma therapy, and I can honestly say that my life has flourished because of it. I can honestly say that I might be stuck in a hole, like, you know, mentally, if I had not done trauma therapy. And so since 2020, actually, I've been talking about EMDR on different podcasts, trying to get people the awareness out there. If you can't afford EMDR, even talk therapy is helpful. You know, talk therapy is a little bit less expensive because trauma therapy is very specialized and it takes specialized training. So there's not a whole lot of trauma practitioners down here, but if you need it, don't go to Starbucks. Don't go to restaurants. Use your money to get better. Use your money on your mental health, whatever you can do to.
Right.
That investment is the best investment you will ever make in yourself, and it's so taboo to talk about, and that's why I love talking about it on different podcasts that I've been guests
Especially
on.
in Latinas.
Yes, it is
Latino
so
community.
The
so
older
important.
generation doesn't
The older
believe in it.
generations.
Doesn't believe in it because they didn't have it, and they just had to deal with everything on their own.
Yeah.
So
And
the
it
younger
wasn't an
generation-
option for a lot of, like with my family, it wasn't an option, right? My sister now dove into therapy.
Good.
Yes,
So
and
you're
I'm
breaking generational trauma.
My
Guys,
s-
the cycle ends with us.
Exactly.
Everybody watching, the cycle ends with us. We are talking about uncomfortable topics. We are going to therapy. We're eating healthy. We're exercising. We're doing the things.
We're doing the work.
That we're doing
Putting
all
the
of
work
the
in.
work. Yes, because I mean, as Latinos, we've been, we've had rough lives. Like our ancestors have had really rough lives, right? Where maybe they weren't able to tackle these sort of things. Well, now it's our job to tackle these sorts of things.
And show our kids that it is okay to go to therapy.
Yes.
It is okay to work out and work on yourself.
Right.
My son sees everything that I'm doing. He loves to work out. He's already asking, Mom,
Right.
I know I haven't been through any trauma, but can I go to therapy? Yes.
Yeah, and it's always about leading by example.
Exactly.
You can't expect your kids to change if you yourself are not changing, or they see
Exactly.
you struggling. It's like, how do you want me to be better if you have to always lead by example.
Yes.
Even if you feel like you don't need it, you should do it.
You should do it,
You should
yeah.
do it. At least give it a shot. I actually started therapy in law school because I was like, oh my God, so anxious. And that's when I first started Lexapro because I was like so anxious, so stressed all the time. And in law school is when I started, and I was like, this isn't so bad. Like, I don't know why I was so scared. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like people are gonna think I'm like crazy or I'm like a monster. And now I'm like, look, chemically imbalanced.
I'm very proud.
I take my medication, and I am so, like, Lexapro has just balanced me out so much to where I don't have these extreme highs and lows and highs and lows. And I'm now more like this. Like, there's still the highs and the lows, but it's not so extreme, right? So, I mean, I know people are conflicted on medication. I know some people are like, do not take medication, only do natural things. I don't disagree with that. I'm just telling y'all what works for me.
What works for me is some microdosing.
I'm so glad I wanted to bring it up, but I didn't know if you were willing
What
to
is
share.
microdosing?
So,
I'm so glad she brought this up.
so
Oh, okay.
I microdose, which is a psychedelic, but I do not do the full
full-
blown
but there's nothing wrong
recreational.
with right? I mean, it's natural.
It's natural.
Yeah.
It's natural, but unfortunately,
There's a stigma.
There's a stigma
Yeah.
because it's a psychedelic. Right?
We are going to talk
do you mean by a
about
psychedelic?
drugs and addictions.
Oh,
Like,
we are.
I see,
Yeah,
I see
we are.
color when you say psychedelic.
It's
Like
one of our
the
topics.
70s, is that what it is?
So-
It's a psychedelic is like something that causes you to
Hallucinate?
hallucinate.
It alters
or
your mind.
alters
Yeah, it
your
alters your mind.
But
Yes.
microdosing, there's been a lot of studies on it, especially here in Texas. Texas is one of the leaders in research.
I did not know
that microdosing,
Microdosing.
is actually really good for you. And I want to do it. I need to get off of my SSRI before I try it, but I want to do it.
Try it.
Oh,
I'm gonna try it.
you're gonna love it.
Do you know what? I really love that. I'm staring at you guys, but I really love that mirror behind you. I don't know if they can even see it, but I want to make sure we take a picture of it and put
And
it
post
into
it.
Yes,
because it
it's
is
gorgeous.
I
You
love
guys
it.
are talking about psychedelic, and I'm like, no, it's
Guys, we should have taken before we did the podcast. Imagine.
I am microdosing right now. I microdose Monday through Friday.
Good.
But you
So-
boil it.
No,
No,
I
so-
buy a waffle. Mine are waffles. I get them online. I get a little waffle, and each quarter of the waffle is 0.2 grams, which
Yeah.
is nothing, right? And I take that every
I
morning.
need something to help me sleep.
This
I
one
don't know
gives
if
you-
that-
no.
This wouldn't help you sleep.
No, this is
Maybe
it-
CBD.
Yeah.
Have you taken CBD?
I got those little things that you gave to me. I bought them at
Oh, yes,
Walgreens.
yes.
Magda's like the medicinal.
I was like, what did I give to you? Were we in Cali?
Walgreens, they've got to be good.
Magda's like, what?
No. With microdosing, you're more focused. You're less anxiety, less stress. You learn to nothing faces me.
Kind of like an ADHD, like a
Yes.
Because I feel
Kind
like
of.
I have like ADHD. Like I have to do like I'm always doing 50 million things, right? My brain.
What it does is it helps like anything that could potentially bother you doesn't.
Doesn't bother me.
me.
That's what it.
I want
that's
you
what
to
it does.
share. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I remember you telling me how you're dealing with your mom who has
Yes.
dementia and how helped you.
So my mom has dementia, right? And she was living with me for a little while. And going home was so hard because she's a sundowner. So at 5:30, she gets aggressive, she gets antsy. So I would literally cry. I would leave the office and I'm just like, oh, here we go. Because I didn't know what mood she was going to be in.
Right.
I get a call, one of my mentors, I love her to death. She tells me, I have something for you. My husband's going to go drop it off. I want you to try this. Be open-minded, try it, and see how it works, and thank me later.
I have a friend who needs that.
Really?
Can I? Yeah. Can you give me
Yes.
the thing? Because I have a friend.
Can you
who-
give me the thing?
No, I'll give you the link. And I took it. I would get home. My mom was, I didn't care what mood she was in. I would take her outside. Come on, Magda, let's go outside. Let's sit down and talk. I had the patience to sit down with my mom and talk to her. I had the patience to, I was there. I was present with
You
my
wanted
mom.
to go on walks. You wanted to have fun with her. And
Yes.
normally you would have dreaded it.
Oh, I would cry.
Yeah.
I felt I was able to handle my mom.
I probably need it for my dad. Like, no, I
Yeah.
need it so that I can handle my
Handle-
dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought about giving it to my dad, but I was already on some other medication for antidepressant. You can't take it.
You can't
so
take
you
both.
need to
Yeah.
wing off your antidepressants before you start this.
We need another.
We can
whole-
definitely talk more about this
We need
in
another
our
therapy. We need
yeah.
another therapy.
Yeah.
Maybe not therapy, but like hallucinogens and how like
yeah.
Alternative
medicine.
medicine.
Yeah,
Alternative medicine. I will say that I take Lexapro. I want to try microdosing. I need to wean off of Lexapro before I can try microdosing, but I think that's in my future. And I didn't want to call you out, so I'm glad you brought it up because I wanted to talk about
I'm all
microdosing.
about whatever
Honest.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Honest, and that's what this podcast is supposed to
Yes.
be
Right.
about. What we're living
Yeah.
in at the moment, right?
I didn't know if you wanted that out there in the world, but now it is.
Oh, no, you know me. I don't care. I hope it's something that I've gotten many people on it, like I've told them, and they love it. My niece, she loves it. My brother, don't hate me, brother, but he loves it. Like
I love it.
yeah, I love it.
I'm going to love it.
Even my
I'm going to
workouts,
love it.
I take them early in the morning. By 7:15, I take it. I wait 15 minutes. I start feeling like at ease. I go work out, and I have gotten my best workouts while I'm microdosing. So
Yeah.
I use it for my workouts and my mornings. They're usually more. I get the bad news in the morning.
I need to deal with all the bad news I get in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah. But the purpose of this was to destigmatize taking care of yourself, going to therapy, maybe alternative medication, actual medication, whatever the case may
And
be.
doing whatever it takes to make
Yeah.
yourself feel good.
Whatever
Yes.
it takes.
Whatever it
Taking-
takes.
Be
Yes, take-
selfish. Make it be okay with being selfish.
I love that.
For self-care.
Selfish.
self-care.
Be selfish for self-care. Take care of yourself. If you ever have questions about EMDR trauma therapy, you can message Magda or I. Our DMs are open. We love to help people. So thank you so much for watching. I know that this was a kind of serious episode, but we had some fun with it. So we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.